Sheriff's office!
It's okay.
I've got my friend. Can I transfer him off you?
So Danny?
My baby daddy got shot, and I am going to jail.
This is Chatty Bird Rachiel Moore. In 2023, her ex-boyfriend was shot in front of their daughter. Colby Vinson did not survive. Let's see how Rachiel explains it.
Do you have that paper?
What paper?
The paper with my lawyer's number on it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't have it. That's why I asked. Wow, I felt tiny back here. Like sitting on the ground. Ow. Sorry.
You alright?
Yeah. I'm not used to being back here. Obviously. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's not very far from here. It's only like 10 minutes.
No, it's okay. I was just trying to sit up so I could see. I'm not worried about jail being bad. I'm worried about my child. And not being arrested for something that I didn't do.
Yeah, I don't know. So, look, I don't know what your case is about. I'm literally just going into work.
Oh, I know. I understand. My baby daddy got shot, and I am going to jail. Even though I have no gun residue on me. I was at home. I have nothing to do with this. Huh?
What's your charges?
I don't know. Accessory to homicide or something like that. Like I'm dead ass being arrested for something I did not do. And they're bad charges, like arson. I'm wondering if I'll ever get to see my daughter again. I'm wondering if my freaking Diet Coke is flat.
How long were you and Colby together before you separated?
Probably 4.5, 5 years maybe. But my child was about 14 months old when we separated. She's 4 now. And we haven't had much contact since then.
Did you guys live in Santa Rosa?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, why did you guys separate?
He has a drug obsession. Like, no matter what environment I would put him in, he would bring the drugs to it. I could get him out of the environment and he would be the drug dealer. I could take him. We moved out because his family said that if you have a baby and you live with your family, it just automatically ruins your family relationship. Like, you don't get to grow as a family. And he took that personally. So we moved out and we were 4 minutes from my mom's house, and that was okay. I was like, okay, fine. Well, once we moved out, he started selling drugs. He started growing drugs in our house, and I had my kid, and I was like, hey, you can't do this. Like, this is a dangerous situation for our daughter. Like, you gotta stop. So about 6 months later, after I realized that he wasn't going to stop putting her in these situations, that this was what he wanted to do. He was pushing his life towards this situation. He was going to open a wake and bake dispensary where he just sold his own drugs and had his own breakfast in. Like, that was what he wanted to do. And I said, that's fine. I just can't have Presley a part of that because I don't trust that system. If you sell drugs, somebody else knows that you either have the drugs or you have the money. And it's a dangerous situation for our daughter. So it got to the point where he was growing shrooms in our closet and he was having acid on our coffee tables. And I was like, oh, no. So I got to go home. So I went home and I said, you know what? If you can leave all of this here, you can come home with me. So he came home and then he did that exact same thing to my mom's house. And at that point, I grew up in an environment where you don't show any of your drama between your relationships with your family because once you get through it, your family still knows about it. So I had hidden all of that from my family up until that point. And then my mom had seen it at our house, of course, and she had like, no, I can't come over there because I don't want to be there when the cops show up, or I don't want to be there if something goes down. I don't want that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to come home. So I did that. And then he came home with us and he did the same thing to my mom's house. So I showed her everything. And she was like, this isn't healthy. This isn't. I was like, I know. So he's got to go. So he moved out after just after just a whole bunch of build up, he moved out at like my kid's 14-month-oldish, that area. And then he could only afford to see her for a couple hours on a Saturday while I went to work. And then I came home, or I came to get her, and he was shaking her, and he told me shaken baby syndrome was just a myth. And I was like, it's not. There's billboards about it. I'll quit my job. I don't care. I don't need this. So then that was fine for a while. And then since I had government-assisted health insurance through the government and food assistance for her through the government, they file for child support. So they file for child support and send it to the father. 14 days later, he turned around and sent me 50-50 papers, child custody papers. And I was like, I'm panicking because you haven't wanted anything to do with her for this long. What now? So we go to court. I get the lawyer, and I show him all of these pictures that I have of him with the bongs in her lap or in his lap, the drugs on the coffee table. And he's like, if something happens to her on his watch and it's not court ordered for her to be there, it's on you if something happens to her. So I was scared. He told me I didn't have to until it was court ordered to force her to go over there. So I didn't. I was like, look, until it's court ordered, I don't think that I'm not comfortable with the lifestyle you're living. It doesn't need to be. Like, you haven't had anything to do with her for this long. I'll see you in court. So we went to court, and the judge had a death in the family, and it got moved up. And then my side of the case wasn't even allowed to be seen in the court. And then they told me 50-50 sharing. And I said, okay. And then I showed up. I dropped my kid off. And then at midnight, I'm getting a call saying, hey, answer the front door. And I answer the door, and there's deputies saying, hey, where were you? What were you doing? I'm here, sleeping up here, waiting.
How long did Colby not see Preston?
About 10-ish months.
So that's the end of her first interview. Let me give you some information on the players in this case. So Rachiel is suspect number 1. You have Jason Curtis, her stepfather, suspect number 2. Then you have Christina, who is Jason's wife, suspect number 3. Jason and Christina's police interviews I'll have for you tomorrow. But it seems Rachiel and Colby were going through some kind of dispute over child custody. Rachiel is now going to explain that in further detail.
Honestly, this last year hasn't been bad. This last year, 10 months ago, he said, so in order to understand, you have to go back. We had our kid, and he decided that the drug life was for him. And I decided that's, it's dangerous for our daughter. So I moved back home. And then at 14 months old, at 14 months old, like Presley was 14 months old, he moved out. And then for a while, he was getting her every Saturday for a couple hours, and that was fine. And then it was to where, I can't get her because my roommates are doing coke, or I can't get her because I got this going on. I was like, okay, well, if you're going to be around that and on that, I don't feel comfortable letting her go with that. And you're posting pictures of dropping acid and driving around smoking, like you're not making responsible decisions. You're making me nervous. And the fact that you posting all of this with her included, it's making me nervous. So I had her under government assisted food and government assisted health insurance. Mm-hmm. And whenever you do that, they go after the other parent for child support. Well, whenever that went through, 14 days later, he turned around and said, oh, well, all of a sudden I can get her 50-50. I'm definitely not comfortable with that. No. What are you going to do during the week when you have to work? I'm going to leave her with my girlfriend. No. She does the same things. No. So, at that point, I've got a lawyer, and he said that if, she gets hurt on his watch, it's just as much my fault as it would be his fault, because there is nothing in writing or anything that says that she was supposed to be there or he was the one with her. So if she accidentally grabs his Coke or acid or whatever he leaves laying around and eats it and overdoses and dies, I go to jail because of child neglect and abuse and death. And so I said, no, I'm not forced to give you custody of our kid yet. I'll see you in court. When they force me to allow you to have custody of her, I will. Okay. Perfectly fine with that. So Monday came up. They said, we're going to do week to week. I said, okay. And I dropped her off Sunday. Sunday at 6:30 at Publix. And then I went to the Tom Thumb. I say I. It was me, Christopher, my mom, and the baby. And my mom did the exchange for the baby because I figured that would be the easiest, smooth, because I figured after 10 months he was probably going to be rude to me. And I didn't want that for her.
So we'll start with going back to court. Okay. Obviously, this has been a long standing court battle and it did not go in your favor. So the very day that he gets to meet up and take his daughter, who he hasn't seen in
almost a year. Yeah.
He turns up deceased.
Right. You can
Okay.
see why I'm panicking.
Okay.
I
So
know
then-
how this looks for me, y'all.
I know. Okay. But I want to point them out, so I want you to understand this. Okay. We show up on scene very quickly after the fact the call is made. And at that time, we learned certain information from like your mother, who said she showed up not knowing that anything had happened, but that she was told that there were lots of police at the apartment building.
She's nosy.
Okay.
She's nosy and she's real concerned about her grandbaby.
Okay.
That's where she was going to be. Kim has got kids that live there and said, if anything, I don't care if a frog farts, if anything happens, call me.
Right.
And that's
And
what
they were-
happened. But
And they
I
were
didn't.
watching, and they were told to keep an eye on Colby, right? And what's going on?
On everything.
Right.
Just this, everything. Yes.
So why didn't they point out to, is it your godmom? Is she your godmother?
Kim? Yeah.
Okay. Why would they not point out to her that it's pretty clear that something's going on at Colby's apartment? Why would they not have that information?
Again, I wasn't told anything until they got at my door. I was told, hey, I'm going to go see Kim for a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to stay here and watch my movie.
So why didn't they? So they didn't tell. So your mom just left without telling you that she was going to go over to the apartment?
She said, I'm going to go with Kim for a minute. Why would she tell me she's going to the apartment that I just left my kid at? I would want to go.
Well, she just got told that the building is surrounded by a bunch of cops. That would seem to be some information
If it's not
to pass on to you.
If it's not something
Because
that
obviously
she
you are
already knows.
Obviously you're very upset about the situation your daughter's in. Why would she not share that information with you?
Because she didn't know details.
Okay. But she knew that the police were there.
Yep.
Right. Okay. And then she seemed very surprised that it had anything to do with Colby when I told her what was going on. I don't understand how she would not have that information if Kim's kids live right there. It wasn't a mystery what apartment we were at. It wasn't a mystery what was going
Sir, I don't understand your question. Are you asking me if my mom knew
No. I'm
where
trying
the cops
to.
were?
I just want you to understand
I understand, and I can
the
tell
other
you.
perspective. Okay.
Call Kim, and she can show you the messages that got sent to her about the scene.
Right. But I'm talking about how it's odd that information did not get pushed to you.
Why stress me out more, knowing that my world's already stressed at max?
Well, why wouldn't you? Why
Why
would you
wouldn't
not want
I
you
go?
there? Yeah. If there was something going on there, why would you not want to be there? Why would
Because I'm not fucking nosy. Because if I can stay at home and try to go to sleep instead of stressing out and stalking my baby daddy, that's exactly what I'm going to do. As far out of sight, out of mind goes, that's what I'm going to try to do. It wasn't my choice to hand her over. It was the judges. I had to, because otherwise, contempt of court, I go to jail. So you know what? I did what I was told. And that's the extent of it. I did what I was told, and then I got the shit show the same time you did.
But you can see how all these scenarios are going to work out in your favor on the same day that he winds up dead. You can understand how conveniently that ends up working in your favor, right?
Okay.
But
well, how can I make it not? Because you know where I was. You know who I was with. You know what I was doing. You know who I contacted. What else can I do other than flat out tell you?
Well, who else could have done this?
I do not know. This is why I did not want my child there. Because I don't know the situations that come with this lifestyle.
No, but who
Who
would have felt so strongly for your emotions and for your protection and for her protection that they may have taken things that they could have taken things into their own hands on your behalf?
Buddy, I don't know. And I'm here to tell you, I have cried and cried and cried and cried and cried over this. So anybody that has saw me in the last week or has talked to me in the last week has heard me cry about it.
So since Monday, you've kind of been a wreck knowing this was inevitably coming, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How could you not be?
Oh, I understand. It would be an unbearable thought in my world.
How could you not be?
But that's why I'm asking you to think real hard about someone who maybe wanted to protect you, protect her.
I, again, am not aggressive. I don't surround myself with aggressive people. I don't know. Like I said, I don't. This is what I know. This is where I was. These are the people I was with. These are the people that I talked to.
Did you talk to anybody else in the last, let's say, week or so about what everything was going on since this all came down?
Anybody and everybody that has saw me crying. My boss, my coworkers, my family, my friends, everybody.
What about family members? Anybody from your family or someone you would consider family you've reached out to?
No. My immediate family. You don't go around bragging to your family that this is happening to you. Especially when you grow up in a Southern Baptist family. Like, you don't, you avoid them.
Well, I'm trying to give you this opportunity to be real clear about what, maybe even an idea you have in your head about something that could have happened. And the reason why I say that is we have a picture of the person who did this. I don't want you to be caught off guard if it turns out it's someone you know. Because if it does turn out that you're withholding information, our investigation leads to you withholding information, then how is that going to work for you, Alan? How would that work out?
But I don't know.
In Presley's favor.
And I would not do this to my daughter. It's horrible.
Well, we've gone through Colby stuff. We've gone through people he's talked to. We've already gone down that aisle. Like I said before, everything in this investigation keeps coming back to you in this custody battle. Okay? You said yourself, we know where you are, we know what you were doing, we know all that. Okay? So I'm not saying that you were there, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying I believe you have a decent idea of who could have done this on your behalf.
I don't. What I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't know who would have done this.
So when we identify the man in the picture, and there's a connection to you, then how are you going to answer that question?
Probably I can't believe they did this. Well, how would you answer that question?
Well, again, I'm going back to the fact that this has clearly been a long, ongoing deal.
This has
been a long court battle. This has been a long fight in court. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. And then the day it doesn't.
Court dates for me. I went to court, got told what to do. I did it. I got back to court, got told what to do. I did it. It's not long and drawn out like it's a big giant scene. Yeah, it was a long gap between the process. But it's not like it was a vicious battle back and forth. We were not evil to each other.
I know, but you refused to let him go, and you resorted to both spending thousands of dollars on attorneys to have this argument. And
because he saw nothing wrong with doing what he was doing. He saw nothing wrong with leaving Coke on a coffee table for a toddler to run around with. Do you see nothing wrong with that?
Oh, I see a lot of wrong with that.
I didn't.
But what happened with court? Why did the court not agree?
Because his attorney moved the court date up to where my side of the case wouldn't even be seen. That's what happened in court.
Right, so the courts did not help you.
At all. I did not do this.
The courts, like you said, took your daughter away from you.
They did not take my daughter away. They ordered 50-50.
Right. Those were your
week.
words. You said the courts ordered and took your daughter away from you.
The courts ordered, shared, a week to week. You read it. You have it.
Everything keeps coming back to this.
And I keep telling you the same thing.
Well, when you had that conversation with
I
him,
would not do this to that man. No. No.
Did Chris have a copy of?
No. Maybe we have a group text. It's me, my mom, and Christopher. Yeah. Yeah, I sent that into it. That way everybody was aware this is where we had to be at 6:30 on Sunday. But I mean, I didn't. That's the only place it's been.
Is it possible that Chris could have shared that information?
I don't think so. I haven't asked him.
Is it possible for Jason to have reached out to Christopher once you told him what was going on?
I don't think so. Christopher's been up my butt making sure I don't off myself over the situation. But that's not real healthy for my kid, and I would not do that.
No, I mean, once you told Jason what was going on, you think Jason could have reached out to Christopher through Facebook or?
I don't know. I don't think so. You'll have his phone. You'll get to see. I'm not sure.
When the detective showed up at your house and told you that
I wanted to puke.
Colby was killed.
I immediately asked where my kid was, if she saw anything. I thought, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know if she had seen anything. I thought, oh my God, how could you do this to her? How could you do this to me? What's the situation you're going to put us all in? I panicked. I did not know what to do at that point in time. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know. He said that he had been harmed and currently deceased. That's all I got told. I was like, where is my kid? How did it happen? They didn't tell me anything. And, that's all I knew. That's what I was left with. You can,
Has he met Colby before?
No, I had posted on an old Facebook account, but I mean, we were together for a while. We had seen pictures of us. It's not hard to look him up. I want
as much
I know
cooperation
it's possible. I know.
as possible. Okay, so
I
just think really hard back to the beginning of the week. What information did you share? That's going to be very important to your cooperation. What information did you share?
That my side of the case was not used, and that I am upset. Basically just vented to him about it. like you would your dad or your spouse. Not my spouse, of course, but like someone you would. I don't have contact with my dad, so I figured he's far enough away that it's not going to stress my mom out any more than it has to, that I could call him and talk to him, and I could be mad with him and get upset with him, and it would be somebody good to lean on, you know? So I did that, and I told him what was going on, and he said, it will be okay if it needs to be. And I said, I just need somebody to tell me that it will be okay if it needs to be. And that's all I needed to hear. But I didn't know it meant like that.
So when you told him about everything, how it was going, obviously he probably felt your same emotions coming through phone.
Yeah, but I didn't disclose where he lived or what addresses or where she would be.
Not leave them, but I need to get outside.
Yeah, you're fine.
You know, you okay if I go out? I mean,
I feel like I'm gonna pass out in this chair. You do you. If you can leave,
I just really feel that I need to get outside because I'm not okay right here.
Okay.
You're lucid trying to protect yourself as well. I can understand that. But you're also trying to protect him for what you knew he did, right?
I don't want this to turn around on me if that was him. I knew what I had said to him. I knew what he had sent me.
What else did he send you?
Those pictures.
I kind of missed that part of the pictures.
The pictures of, take your pick of the swords or the knives and I jokingly said whatever would be easiest to carry. But, again.
What day was that?
I don't know, sometime this week.
Was it just swords and knives?
There was guns.
Well, if court was on Monday, what day do you think that was?
I don't know, probably Monday.
The same day as the court?
Probably.
Okay.
And then you said you talked to him Friday as well? Or all weekend? Is that what you said?
No, I don't know. My phone's not right in front of me. If you hand me back my phone, I deleted it. Because I thought that seemed suspicious when he called me. So I just went through and deleted everything because that's awkward. Why just...
Sorry, I keep asking this. When he called you on Sunday, what did he say?
Don't worry.
How long did
You
you
don't
talk
have to
for?
worry about anything. It was less than a minute phone call.
And how did he sound when he was saying?
Excited. I was like, what do you mean? Well, I can't talk right now. I gotta go. I'm gonna put my ass in the wind. Huh? And that was the end of it. My heart dropped. And I didn't hear anything. And then...
When he showed you, we'll go back to the pictures, I guess, because that was something a little bit easier. And he said, take your pick. And you said, whatever is easiest. What did he show you pictures of?
Oh, it looked like a Renaissance thing. There was a sword as long as this table, a couple knives this big, a couple different guns. I just genuinely thought he was showing me his collection. Like, over time, this is what I've got to work with. If it makes you feel better.
Well, in the context of the conversation, I think it was pretty clear what he
Yeah.
was trying to
Insinuate. Yeah, but I never thought.
What kind of guns did he show you? Handguns? Rifles?
Rifles, handguns, they were both there. He makes me feel better. He makes me feel calm.
Like he was going to take care of you.
No, just knowing that he went through the same thing and that it was okay for him. Growing up, his kids got to come spend the summers with us and lived with their mom during the school year. So that's what we talked about. Yes, there was violence and guns and stuff too, but that was just when I was venting. We talked about how to move forward with it, like do what your mom says to do. Wait for the system. Wait for DCF. It was stuff like that.
But then Monday, when obviously all that had
No,
not worked.
no, even on Monday, all through this week, anytime he had contacted me, that's what he had said. It was not made to me that it was gonna be taken care of like that. It was gonna be taken care of in the system. God's got us. That's what I was told.
So on Sunday when he called you and he said that it was all taken care of and that he had to get out, then how did you feel? I
could have puked. I was so scared because I didn't know what that meant.
What did you believe it meant? Because obviously what he said, the person who makes you calm, the person that makes you feel better about things. He says, he calls you, has a quick conversation. What he says to you makes you so sick to your stomach.
When he said, I gotta go, I can't talk right now, I gotta put my ass in the wind.
What did you believe?
I believed that he was here. I believed that he heard him and that my kid had to witness it and that it was going to come on to me and that he just ruined my life. That's what I believed. And that.
So did he say anything to you about what he had done?
No.
But based on what he said to you, his words were good enough for you to believe that he had done something to hurt Colby.
Something was off. Hey, you don't have to worry about anything anymore. Considering what we had been talking about all week, like you sounded like you had been drinking. You sounded like you knew what was going on in my life. Like, how did you sound so confident and excited? And then tell me you got to put your ass in the wind.
Since yesterday when he called you, he hasn't called you, reached out to you at all?
No. I have been sick.
Has anybody reached out to you from that side of your family?
I've talked to Megan, but again, it was just about her pregnancy and what she was doing. Her dad asked me if I could ask her if she could loan him some money. And I was like, well, why don't you ask her? And I was like, hey, can you give Dad what he needs? I can cash app you or give it back to you or why?
When was that?
Huh?
When was that, today?
No, that was a while ago. Monday, maybe I don't know, sometime this week. But it was like, I don't know. I wouldn't think anything of it because it's Megan and them. They live right next to each other. I don't get between them. They live too close to each other. They have too much drama. I try to focus on, hey, how you doing? How's your kids? Like, how's your pregnancy going when it comes to Megan? Yes.
Yeah, it's an important question.
I know.
It really is. It sounds silly, but it's an important question. Did you, on purpose, decide not to tell us this information early on? And why didn't you tell her? What was going through your head that why you decided not to give that information?
I purposely didn't give you that information because I was scared that it would look like I set this up and you would immediately take my daughter, and I did not do this. And I don't know how else to go about doing any of this. I've never been more scared in my life, sitting right here with all of my cards laid on the table. I have You'll have my life in your hands. Literally. I did not do this. I did not know he would do this. I did have an idea of who it would have been early on. And I'm sorry I withheld that. But it scared me right out the get-go because of the fact that look how it looks for me. I thought that I could vent to somebody that used to be my dad. I thought he lived far enough away, it wouldn't be a problem. I did not think in a million years that this would be something that actually happened, and that my child would go through this, and that we would be sitting here having this conversation due to that.
When we recover all the messages and we're able to kind of read the messages, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but obviously sometimes when you're an outside perspective and you're reading messages, how are those messages going to read?
They're going to look awful. They're going to look really bad for me.
Give me an example of what they said or how they're going to look awful.
They are going to, like, the one that says, at this point I would pay for your gas money if it meant I didn't have to wet my sheets at 25 years old. That's going to look really bad for me.
How do you respond to that message?
I don't remember.
What day was that?
I don't
Was that
remember.
Yesterday when those conversations happened?
No. Those are like Monday conversations, or I don't know, sometime this week conversations.
What other communication was there?
He called me while I was at work, and I answered it, but it was in my pocket, so I didn't know it even answered. He called me back. So I talked to him for about 20-ish minutes, told him what was going on. And
on Tuesday or Wednesday?
On Tuesday.
Okay.
He's like, so are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just waiting for everything to play out. I mean, I'm at work right now. I'm working on the dogs. This is what I'm doing. I'm feeding medications. Like, we just talked about what we were doing and what he was doing. He was pressure washing in his house, and I was feeding dogs and walking them out and giving medications. That's what we talked about. And then he just hung up, and then we didn't really talk.
Any other messages that we're going to recover and look at?
Did he send, after he called you and talked to you over the phone, did he send the swords and knives and guns picture? Was that after you guys talked?
I don't know if that was on Monday or Tuesday. That was whenever I had a mental breakdown. I just texted him the whole shebang, like, hey, I tried everything I knew how to do, and I don't know what to do. I'm panicking.
In the midst of all that sharing and upset stuff, information, is it possible that you forwarded him the order from the court?
No. I'm telling you, I did not send that report to anybody except for my mom and Christopher, and it's because we were in a group chat. We do everything as a family. If I have to be here to drop her off, they have to be here to drop her off.
Who could he have reached out to get that information?
Anybody that used to know me, anybody that he knows, I don't know. Maybe go to his friends list. I don't know. I wouldn't, that doesn't seem, if he was to ask me, where does he live? That would be like, oh, he is actually.
Was that ever come up? You've any conversation as far as?
Well, yeah, it says, it says, well, maybe I need to go hunting. I said, well, I have an address. It's not even much of a hunting party. That's in text messages. That's going to look very bad.
Okay.
So
did you just give him an address?
No.
When he asked for it?
No.
Did Christopher know you were talking to him?
Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't talk? He's just as stressed about this as I am.
Did he know, that he was saying these things?
Yeah. Buddy, this looks bad. I know.
Is it possible through the conversations that you had with him that you gave him the address?
No.
I don't, just like I told you
I'm
before,
here.
I don't want to catch you off guard and suddenly find out that
Right, that I gave him the
it's
address.
all right there.
Right, no.
And you sat here and told us 20 times that you didn't give it, and then it's going to be right there. No one's going to believe that, obviously. If they're in that regard, they're not going to believe your story.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, you're just trying to withhold little bits of information.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I just keep opening that door to make you.
Understand.
I want you to be 100% positive that you did not give him an address.
Mm-mm.
Do you think you could have found Chris through Facebook and talked to him?
I don't think Chris would have talked to him, to be honest. Chris would have been like, hey, your dad's texting me. He would have told me. We're very open. I say that, but I didn't tell my mom I called him because it's her ex-husband. I feel kind of awkward holding or having some kind of distant relationship with her ex-husband.
When's the last time your mom talked to him?
I don't know. Probably at their divorce. I don't know. Maybe at his dad's funeral. Maybe. I don't know. We went up there for that. But like I said, honestly, I'm his stepdaughter. He's someone I can just vent to. It's like talking to somebody in China. It was, and yeah, if they say what makes you feel better at the time, okay, why take any thought to it, but this is probably why.
Well, the outside looking at it kind of looks like it was kind of clear that it was kind of going that direction. Okay. And that's why I want you to be clear about everything you said. Even if it sounds crappy, you're saying it's going to look really bad.
Yeah. It's going to look really bad. I didn't.
30 minutes ago, it wasn't. I have, you're still kind of peeling back that onion a little bit, because suddenly you said, well, he did say it's time to go hunting. I said there's not much hunting in the address.
But I didn't tell him the address.
Right, but you could have told him that portion 25 minutes ago. You see what I'm saying? We're still peeling back just little bits at a time.
Right, you asked me what to look forward to in the messages. What are you going to find? I'm trying to think about what I may have said. That's something that popped up. It's not much of a hunting party. I have an address. But I didn't send it.
Text messages were used to, are we talking about, just a handful of text messages, or are you talking like a serious hundreds of text messages?
No, like
a text conversation gets out of control pretty fast, and all of a sudden you don't realize it. You've sent 75 messages.
Right. It's not like that. I don't have time to be texting like that. I work at a bakery. Y'all can see it and read it, and y'all will get to see what I'm talking about when it says it's gonna look bad on me, but I didn't do this. I would not put her through that. Definitely not on purpose. Like I said, I didn't know he was here. I knew, hey, you don't have to worry about anything. But I can't talk now. I gotta put my ass in the wind.
When you were venting to him on the phone earlier on, did he ever say anything that...
You don't have to worry about this.
That said he was angry, mad, upset?
No, he seemed calm. Like he just knew God had this. Yeah. He seemed calm, like he knew God had this. So I was calm because...
And you say he's pretty He's been violent before.
He was an alcoholic, but I mean, he hasn't been here. I mean, most alcoholics get violent, but it wasn't anything like murder. It was a bar fight at the smokehouse when it was still a smokehouse on 87. That's all I know him to be violent with.
There's a lot of things obviously we're still working on. And I just hate being caught by surprise once we get all the data back. Is all.
How long will that take?
I said it can be a fast process, so it really just depends on how much data is on the phone.
A bunch of it can, yeah, okay.
Hang tight real quick.
Be right back with you.
Can it get processed now?
No, because we have our reference people that do it, and they're not here.